It's Monday. We're bored to death.
I'm not bored. Go away. You're bothering me.
And I don't have my grills in. I told Rachel I'm going to wear my grills 24/7 here.
Hey, it's pretty fun.
All right, so yesterday I watched a video on Facebook
Super Duty.
because I'm on multiple social media platforms
2-liter flex, 4-wheel drive.
that people were asking questions about, or was just a thread about
I need to
off-road
exhaust manifold bolt kits.
truck tires that were chopped to death. What was the cause? It's the wrong tire
The ones from,
for the wrong vehicle for the wrong use, and that's the biggest problem. They put these big giant tires on there, and the suspension and the weight of the vehicle is just not enough for those vehicles. Also, you ever heard the word mall crawler? It's because they build these off-road trucks and all they do is drive them to school and to the mall. Those tires are not designed to be on the pavement or concrete or asphalt 95% of its time. They're supposed to be used more off-road than on-road. But people that have disposable income and money or just want to be, keeping up with the Joneses, what do they care? It's $300, $400, $800 a tire. And then by the time that those tires are shot, which is sooner than later, they get a sticker shock on, oh my God, I got to buy tires again just to get rid of that noise. Yeah, because you ruined the tires. And what happens is, I have a cutaway of a tire, and I'm going to turn it this way. The tire treads actually become uneven. So there's high and low spots in the tire, and it actually is like, whoa, 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 whoa. You ever hear that? Whoa, 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 whoa. When you're driving next to some truck that's lifted or a Jeep that has giant tires on it that spends most of its time driving on the highways instead of driving it off-road. It's just a Jeep thing or an off-road truck thing. There are better quality tires out there that can handle that abuse. But another problem is tire balancing. They don't have a machine, as far as I know of, in our area to balance tires of that size with road force. The better the tire balancing of those giant monster tires and wheels, the less of a chance that you're going to get that choppy pattern in a tire. And then what's happening is, I'm going to try and get this to you, those big tires are doing this as you're driving down the road, and then it's creating flat spots. So as soon as it starts to get flat spots, the high and low spots in it, it's constantly doing, and it's getting worse and worse and worse, and it's just beating the crap out of the tire. If the weight of the vehicle is not heavy enough to force that tire into that ground or whatever it's coming in contact with, the heavier the vehicle, the more push it's going to put on that tire. The lighter the vehicle, the more likely it's going to do this. And then the suspension and the shocks can't really keep that tire in contact with the road, and then that's where you get that from. So tire balancing is number one. Wheel alignment and suspension or front end issues is the primary cause of that. So what do you need to do to maintenance off-road tires like that? You need to rotate and balance more frequently. So if you're never doing it, then you need to start doing it. And if you're brand new tires and they're smooth, what you want to do is look at the tire and keep an eye on it. You can run your hand across it and feel if it's smooth. And then as soon as it starts to show signs of chop, balance them, put them on the back tires. You'll notice the back tires are probably flat because they're on the drive tire, forcing those tires into the ground with the acceleration. It's keeping them smooth. So then you're going to balance those tires, put them in the front, and do that more regularly. I'm going to say probably those big monster tires at least every 3,000 to 4,000 miles. There's no way you're getting away with 6 or 10 or not rotating them at all. It's just impossible unless you're putting every bit of the best suspension parts on those vehicles, and it doesn't spend most of its time on concrete or asphalt. And even if you're saying, oh, well, it's 50-50, it's still not enough. Those tires weren't designed to be on those roads. The wider the tread pattern is in the tire, okay, the more sound that it makes and the more ability that it has to start chopping.
It's still loading on my phone.
It's not called cupping. I actually heard someone say it's cupping. It's not. And you'll actually see some people drive it for so long in certain tires that you can actually see the consistent chop in a tire will be like every 3 inches or every 1 inch or, all the way, it comes across in many different forms of that chop, we call it. It almost sounds like a wheel bearing, and it's very evasive to say, hey, is it wheel bearing, is it tire, or is it both? But this all comes from suspension, shocks, wrong tires for the use of the vehicle, and we see that all the time. People driving around with off-road tires on your SUV grocery getter because the proper tire for that car was $200 a tire, and then the cheaper off-road tread pattern tires were like $120 a tire. But what you get with that is it's not the right handling for dry and wet conditions, and they're awfully noisy, and they don't handle well. So if you hear that whoa, 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 whoa as you're driving down the road coming from your car, it's definitely pretty much coming from your tires or wheel bearings or both. But if you have a newer vehicle and you're confident that the shocks and struts, the alignment, and all that stuff is good, then it's typically from a tire and it only takes a little bit of out of balance for a big giant tire. Think about a big giant tire and what it takes once it starts getting out of round. Everyone's heard their washer or dryer start rattling around because it's out of balance. And if you have a little bit and then that's kind of what your tire's doing, but it's just beating the crap out of your suspension for one. The tire's doing this to the suspension, although it's not feeding back to the vehicle. It's sounding off and saying, hey, there's a problem. Thanks for watching.